Death is a natural process experienced by all living beings. Sometimes it can be difficult to perceive, especially in cats. As you know, cats show almost no signs of pain or illness. If you suspect that your cat may be dying, we recommend you continue watching this AnimalWised video, but remember that it will be very important to go to the vet as soon as possible to give your cat the worthiest ending possible. Access to healthcare, complete nutrition and good care has significantly increased the longevity of our cats. Currently, we can find many cats that can reach 17 and even 20 years of age. Therefore, it is not surprising that diseases that were not previously perceived by the owners, such as senile dementia, appear. An obvious symptom that our pet is getting older is the onset of behavioral disorders, usually related to health status. Although these signs do not exclusively indicate that a cat is going to die, they do indicate that something is happening. The loss of hygiene habits in a cat is a clear sign that something is happening to them. Although it is true that some cats devote more time than others to their personal grooming, the total loss of this behavior indicates some kind of problem. You will also include the neglect of other practices, such as scratching on the scratching post or rubbing the furniture and objects with their body odor. The symptoms of a dying cat also include alterations in their vital signs. Abnormal heart rhythm, excessively high or low body temperature, and impaired breathing are common. The vital signs of a healthy cat are respiratory rate between 20 and 42 breaths per minute, heart rate between 140 and 200 beats per minute, body temperature between 38 degrees and 39 degrees Celsius, capillary filler time. Pressure should be applied to the mucous membranes to see how long it takes to regain normal color. For example, the mucous membranes of the mouth. The capillary filling time of a cat should be less than 2 seconds. In the event of any alteration in the feline's vital signs, we must immediately go to a veterinary center, since it implies that the animal's life is comprised. As we have mentioned before, it is not always easy to identify the symptoms of a sick cat. However, the onset of diarrhea, convulsions, vomiting, blood in urine, or to observe that our companion stops eating or drinking liquids may indicate that a cat is sick and close to their end. If your cat does not accept food, even if it is their favorite food, you are facing an emergency. This behavior is also common in cats who are ill or very scared. However, an animal near death is vulnerable, so it's not uncommon for many dying cats to seek an isolated place to die. If you observe that your cat takes refuge somewhere and does not want to leave, perhaps they are near death. Faced with any of these signs, the best thing to do is to contact your vet immediately, as this is the only figure capable of really diagnosing what is happening to your best friend, whether it is the approach of death or illness. The specialist will advise you on what decision to make. It is important to understand that if the animal is suffering a lot and suffers pain, perhaps it is advisable to evaluate euthanasia in order to stop their suffering. The vet can also help and guide you to offer the best care in this last stage. You may need to help your cat to eat, drink, or defecate. Obviously, it will also be essential that you offer them as much love and affection as possible. The death of an animal is always a very painful process. In the midst of this whirlwind of feelings, you have to assess what to do with the body, a difficult decision that is difficult for some. If your cat has died in the vet, the specialist will probably suggest that you burn their body in the same center, either with other animals or privately. On the other hand, if your cat has died at home, you can go to the vet or contact an animal funeral home directly, a generally cheaper option. You can also choose to bury the body in a special place for you. Don't forget that if your cat was registered in the country's pet registry, you will need to notify that your cat has deceased to ensure that the census is up to date. The death of a loved one is always painful, even if it is an animal, something that many people do not understand. Therefore, you should not feel guilty if you need to spend time in mourning or contact a specialist. Don't forget that if you are ready to have another cat again, you can go to an animal shelter and offer a home to an abandoned animal.